Alrighty, y'all. Alrighty, y'all. We are live on this beautiful Sunday morning. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, man, I pray you are blessed and your family is very blessed, as the Bitcoin price is currently pumping toward the liquidity that we made over here on the 25th of June. It is currently the 29th of June 2025. And yes, we are going to be going over this Bitcoin price action. Looks like we don't have audio, but we're going to see if we can fix it. All right, hang on. Let's see, can we fix the audio? Yeah! Now we got it, baby. We're back. Major shout out to everybody in the chat. As usual, guys, if we can get 1,000 likes during the first half hour of the stream, we will be giving away $1,000 of these juicy profits from the trade setup given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Told everyone when I took the trade, and now we're in the juiciest of profits. 5 figures! Can you believe that? Oh my goodness! What a top signal on society when a guy on a treadmill in a purple shirt, fake glasses, a hat to the side, and a weighted vest can make more money in 2 weeks than an engineer who went to school. That's crazy, you know? That is nuts. That's a top signal on society. This is not normal. So let's take advantage of it, guys. Let's take advantage of not being normal. I love it. I love not being normal. It's one of my favorite things. And speaking of not being normal, I need a little bit more coffee. My goodness. Shout out to Market Cipher. Shout out to CryptoFace. By the way, if you use my link for Market Cipher, you can get 30% off if you use the coupon code BILLY, B-I-L-L-Y, in all capitals. We got to give a major shout to everybody in the chat right now. Shout out to R Pink. What's going on, bro? Shout out to HFG. Shout out to Quiles1100, who says Pito. He says Jason is wearing a purple shirt. SFP coming. LOL. Shout out to Daniel Hrvojevic. He says send it, baby. Shout out to Abhine Varma. And Dean, who says audio's okay. Shout out to Splashfire Films. God bless you, bro. He says grace and peace be multiplied unto y'all. In Jesus' name. Why do we need to scream? Confidence is quiet. Well, here's the thing. When you're a YouTuber trading, you don't really have confidence, Emily Chen. So you need to fake it. And you need to get excited, because in trading, when you are passionate and emotional, it will actually help the chart move in the direction that you want, okay? And so that's why we're screaming, okay? We're trying to pump the Bitcoin price to a new all-time high. All right, shout out to Manan Agarwal, who's just watching the course. Shout out to Crypto Tender. Shout out to RPM. Daniel in the house. We got Daniel in the house. Which Daniel is in the house? Daniel Hrvojevic. God bless you, Daniel. Thank you so much for being here, man. And I'm sorry for butchering your name. Shout out to Investment Time. Shout out to Quasi Hisham and Florida J. Shout out to Lucky Jim Bob 111. Shout out to CC Caputa. Nobody is ready for this. Shout out to Wolf. He says, you guys pay taxes? LOL. Wolf doesn't pay taxes, man. He found a way out. Good for you, man. Shout out to Max Flexion. He says 102K incoming. Alrighty. Well, we're going to talk about what's going on, man, because we do have a weekly candle close coming up here tonight in a few hours. About 12, I think. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 11, maybe 10 and a half. Maybe 10 minutes and 40. 10 hours and 40 minutes. Not 100% sure, but we're going to talk about it because, honestly, guys, this is some strange action. All right, some very strange action, I'll tell you that. So we're going to be going over it, talking about what we can prepare for as the week begins. Happy Sunday to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. As usual, guys, we got to give a shout out to the sponsors of the channel. First of all, WEEX, lowest fees, link in the pinned comment description. Got to give a major shout out to BLOFIN, 20% cash back. Chance to win all these prizes, discounted fees, link in the pinned comment description. Major shout out to ANTARCTIC, decentralized exchange, lowest fees, period. Decentralized exchange, links in the pinned comment description. And the Casper Crew VIP Discord, which sponsors this channel. You can go to jasoncaspertrading.com to join the community where myself and other instructors give their trades every single weekday of the week. Man, I hate redundancy. Now, let's pop into the charts. Because as you can see, Bitcoin recently has gotten a move to the upside. Now make sure to smash the likes because we have almost 500 people watching and only 100 likes. In fact, you know what? I always say if we get 1,000 likes in a half hour, we'll give away $1,000. But if we can get 500 likes in the next 3 minutes, if everyone in here just likes the dang stream, we'll do a $500 giveaway right on the spot. Let me set a dang timer here. Let me set a dang timer. That's a good idea. That's a pretty good idea. A pretty good incentive, I'd say. A pretty dang good incentive. What do you guys think? Good incentive? Is Bitcoin a good stock? Well, as we all know, their CEO did get arrested, Sam Bankman-Fried. But overall, I still think it's a good stock. Shout out to Tommy, who says, beets grilled in the oven, garlic, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar, and feta cheese. Best salad. Man, that sounds amazing, Tommy. In fact, right now, I have so many beets in the garden ready to harvest. Red beets ready to harvest, and they are juicy. All right. Major shout out to Dome Life. He says, weekly close tonight, monthly close tomorrow. Yeah, seriously. Seriously, it's going to be crazy. Emily would like to be paid in eggs. Well, thankfully, you can if you work on my farm. Shout out to R Pink. He says, I am the light of the world. This is Jesus. He's quoting Jesus in Hebrew, which is interesting since this was in Greek originally. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. He who walks after me will not walk in darkness, for he has the light of life. Amen. Amen, bro. Amen. Yes, beets. I love beets, man. Health and taste. I really do. I really do. Let's see. We got 1 minute left to get the 500 likes. Guys, like the video. We got 1 minute left. 1 minute left to like the video. Come on. Beets make your poo and pee red. Yeah, but if you eat them a lot, they don't actually. What's my take on the government's plan to add to the Bitcoin reserve? Look, I think it's bullish. Overall, Bitcoin is a very bullish asset. All right, overall, Bitcoin is a very bullish asset. We cannot lose sight of the bullishness of Bitcoin. All right, but does the government really want to add at $100,000 plus? I don't know. I think the cycle will be over in a few months, right? So I would assume the government would want to add, at a lower price. But what do I know? Shout out to Harsh. He says, "What was your logic behind the trade?" Well, quite simple. Quite simple. We had a very nice looking bottom here at major support. Okay, major. The back test of basically the golden pocket, the high volume node, the 786, the zone of support, where we were looking for a swing long trade in the Casper crew. It happened on a weekend. Then that Monday morning, after a local change of structure, we said, all right, let's see if we get a back test of $100,000, where we have the golden pocket, the high volume node of the mini range, the value area low of the mini range, the 786. All right, we came down there. We didn't necessarily have the divergences that I wanted, but when I saw what was happening, I had to go long on the trade, because sometimes, even if you have a plan, you just have experience in the market and you understand when you see certain things happening. It's like a now or never, where if you're using good risk management, you're not risking very much, but when you see a strong bounce happening from key support, you're like, it's now or never, right? Okay, timer's going off, baby. Timer's going off. We don't have the likes yet, but we'll set another 5-minute timer to see what happens, man. We'll set another 5-minute timer to see what happens, right? Everyone loves beets. Some people hate beets. Like Max, he says beets are great for oxygen and vascularity. Yeah, beets are great for vascularity, man. I will tell you, all right. This morning when I was curling in the squat rack, I definitely was feeling. I was definitely thankful for the red beets. I'll tell you that. All right. I will tell you that. Look at this, man. I had the sickest I had the sickest arm pump this morning, man, I'll tell you. It was wild, all right? Nothing like chest and arms on a Sunday, curling in the squat rack on a Sunday morning. I'll tell you, it's those red beets, man. It's those red beets. You know? But some people say, yeah, red beets are bad for you. Oxalates, you know? Oxalate's gonna kill you, you know? Can you imagine? You know, these people out there dying of vegetables, these poor people out there dying from eating their vegetables, you know? I mean, how many people do you know who died of vegetable poisoning? You know, just the list goes on and on, you know? Shout out to Joe Potter, man. What is going on, Joe Potter? God bless you, Joe. Go up 2 miles per hour for a more bullish walk. I can't. This is as fast as the treadmill goes. All right. Beets, feta yogurt, and mint. That sounds good. That sounds good, man. That sounds good. Shout out to Joe Potter. Shout out to the Dusty Hunt. Shout out to Sunny Jim. Shout out to Ken W. And shout out to Fantasy. Thumbs up, come on. Yeah, come on, guys. Smash up the likes. Let's see. We got 500 people in the house. Let's see if we can't get our 500 likes. Poison is good for you in small doses, says RPM. Look, everything's poisonous. All right? No matter what you eat, you ain't going to get out of here alive. Unless the Lord comes back first. All right? Would I entertain a short of the CDW right here? You know, let's dive into the charts, all right? Let's dive into the charts and see what we got going on. I have not taken a trade. This is my first time looking at the charts. All right, it's my first time looking at the chart. Maxing out squats and the treadmill speed. Yeah, I was maxing out curls in the squat rack this morning, I'll be honest with you. Okay, so let's take a look at the chart. Let's go to the 4 hour, all right? Oh, man. These stupid accents. So far, this stream, I've been doing everything wrong to get views and likes. I've been talking about beats. I've been talking about diet. I've been talking about exercise. I've been talking about the Bible. All right. And we haven't even dived into the chart yet. All right. Well, here we go, guys. As you can see, this is the range volume profile. This is the very important level right here that we are currently testing, 107, 108,000. Whoa, hang on. 107, 108,000. I just want to point out how important this line right here is. All right. This is literally the line in the sand between, now the 4th of July is coming up. All right. We close the weekly candle above this level. And that 4th of July family get-together, we could be having a conversation with our in-laws about how, look, I know you didn't want me to marry your daughter because you thought I was a burnout loser. But guess what? I'm crypto rich now, baby! Versus having to go face your in-laws, telling them that yes, you did put your life savings 100x leverage full count, trying to follow James Wynn on Twitter, and you lost everything, and you're going to ask if you can move back in with them because you can't support their daughter. All right, this is the line between those two conversations here. And as you can see, on the 4 hour, we've had a very bullish candle that has come above this level. Why is this level so important? This is the zone, this is the exact level where ever since November, the market has considered Bitcoin to be overvalued anytime we come above $108,000. And now you can see we've come up to that level. We've gotten a little bit of a pullback here. And if we can hold above this level, I would say that's a pretty nice looking breakout back test, and then we can look for another higher high. In addition to this, we have ourselves this trend line right here. All right, this trend line right here, if we break out, we've tapped it once, twice as our third tap. That's very bullish, okay? We would expect, if we're gonna break above the trend line, that we would see significant follow through to make new all-time highs, potentially $115,000 to $120,000 Bitcoin, okay? And actually, if we look at this, we could even say this is a bull flag, right? We could say this is a bull flag with a bullish target of approximately 140,000 US dollars. All right, this is actually a realistic target for Bitcoin if we see pump. And then the next few months, the last half of 2025 is a bullish half. This is legit, okay? Now, again, if we cannot reclaim this trend line, well, what's the problem with that? Why is that not good? Well, you can see that we are coming into none other than the zone between the 618 Fibonacci and the 786 Fibonacci. We also have the value area high of the range, and we have the trend line. So we have 3 points of intersectionality right here. All right, you got to give a shout out to all the fat, white, ambiguously gendered college students, because I know how much they love intersectionality. This is intersectionality. You can see all these things are intersecting here, giving us a very key level of resistance where, if we reject from here, the probabilities, in my opinion, are highest that we will make another lower low. And the reason for that is because there's 2 ways to look at this right now. Right now, we're in no man's land. We're literally at the level. All right, we're at the level, period. Like, in my opinion, there's really no trade to be had here on the higher time frames. Right? Lower time frames, you can do whatever you want, as long as you have a plan. But if we can't reclaim this level and we reject, this is overall bearish market structure, and we would expect a lower low to continue, and that next target would be around $97,000 at the high volume node of the range, right? So we do want to see a weekly close above the level, and we have a monthly close tomorrow. So 2 very important candle closes coming up within the next few days, and I think that's going to give us some direction here. June has been a very ambiguous month in the sense that literally we haven't done anything. June has just been us consolidating in this entire zone here. All right, let's go to the monthly chart. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so if we see the monthly candle close higher than the last monthly candle close, I'd say that's a pretty good sign of strength for the monthly candle. Ideally, man, if we could see, if Monday we get a big old pump, right? That's tomorrow. A close above that level, that's a really nice sign of strength. Now, I do just want to say that we have the green dot confirmed on the monthly time frame. And when we see the dot, there's a 9 out of 10 chance that the following candle will give us a higher high. So we only have 2 days left for that to happen, which means if it doesn't happen, it means there's a 9 out of 11 chance that it will give us a higher high in the following month, because now we've had it happen 11 times in the history of Bitcoin, and if it doesn't give us at least a wick to a higher high, that is a little bit concerning there. But this monthly green dot does make me feel that it's very possible to see us push up a little bit. Now, we also have the weekly candle close coming up within a few hours. Now, overall, I have to say, this weekly, if we're only going to be looking at the weekly, this looks pretty good to me. Why? Because, yes, we confirmed a bearish signal right here, okay? Last week, we did confirm a bearish divergence where the price was making a higher high, just basically doing a liquidity grab of that first high that we made back here in January, and the momentum waves were getting lower and the money flow getting lower. But when we watch what's happening here and we zoom in, we see a few very interesting things. First of all, look at the weekly money flow right now. It continues to get thicker. And look at the momentum waves here. It's starting to turn back to the upside. The yellow oscillator is pointing slightly upwards. This is not necessarily signs of weakness. And then we look at the actual candle itself, potentially closing a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. All right, now that to me is a bullish sign to close a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. I would look for higher prices. When we come down to our 5-day time frame, look at how the oscillator is, the yellow oscillator, about to cross the 0 line. It looks like we're about to print a green dot with thicker money flow. Look at the 4-day. This 4-day to me looks very bullish, objectively speaking. Why? Because we came down here and we made a lower low. This was very key support. If you guys remember, this was the bottom of the trend line of the entire bull market so far. Right, so if we're just going to analyze this whole bull market, we came down, we got a bounce with a bullish divergence. A bullish divergence is like the price is making a lower low to key support. The momentum waves are making higher lows, right? You have a deep momentum wave, a shallow momentum wave, right? Kind of looks like a butt. Kind of looks like a butt with uneven butt cheeks. All right, somebody's been squatting and deadlifting with improper form. That right glute doesn't fire because the hip flexor is tight. And so instead of letting yourself sit back in the hole on the right side, you're favoring your quad and squatting with improper form, leading to less growth on the right glute. Well, what happens when you keep squatting with bad form and the right glute keeps getting weaker and weaker? You need to have a correction. You need to start doing some mobility work. Fix that hip flexor. And here we go. We got our correction back to the upside. Okay? After we have this bullish divergence here, this is a bottom signal. We have made a higher high. And then we have come down to a very, very important support, which is dipping just below $100,000. That's a very important support. We take our Fibonacci from the swing low to the high, and we dip right into that zone between the golden pocket and the 786. When we see this, we get a very bullish reaction. We're seeing momentum, we're seeing money flow turn back toward the upside. As we came down to that level as well, we saw very bullish divergences on our medium time frames. The 4-hour momentum getting higher, money coming in to Bitcoin, even though we were dumping down below 100,000. This is why, these are all part of the reasons why I was feeling bullish at the beginning of last week, taking a long trade in the VIP Discord, which I'm currently still in right now. When we got that back test of 100,000, right, we came down to very key support. We got a bullish bounce. Then we came down to the make it or break it level right here. We're like, all right, let's go, baby, let's go. I was actually in the ocean when I took this trade, no joke. I was in the ocean. That's why it's like this, because my fingers were wet. I couldn't type on the phone screen, right? It was really hard to do that. So we've gotten some nice bullish signs so far here. And yeah, so we want to see that weekly candle close for confirmation of more upside. Now, like we said, locally, this is going to be super key. All right, so we're not out of the woods yet. We're We're right in resistance. All right, we are right in resistance. But I do have to say, like, things are looking nice. Our higher time frames are looking nice. The 5-day, beautiful. The 6-day, looking really good. The 2-day, look at that money flow. Wow. Look at this sharp, what do they call it? A spike wave? Is that what Trader Geo calls it? It looks pretty good to me for another push to the upside here. We're seeing this money flow on the 2-day crossing the 0 line, okay? So I understand that on the low time frames, even like right now in the moment, you could be short, and that's great because there was a CDW on a weekend, swing failure on a weekend. But these high time frames for me, honestly, as I'm looking at this, they're making me lean more bullish than bearish. And the icing on the cake for me would just be the weekly candle closing above 108. And then, you know, obviously, if our monthly candle is making a higher high, that's a nice sign of strength after the confirmation of this green dot. Let's go down to the 1 hour. We're getting a little bit of a pullback here on Bitcoin. Why are we getting a bit of a pullback? It's very simple, okay? We have ourselves a sideways range. We have ourselves the liquidity, which is the stop losses above this high. And we came above the high on a weekend on low volume. We made a higher high, like this. And when we look here at the oscillator, the money flow is coming out. All right, money flow coming out. Very high chance you can at least get a scalp trade. And we are coming right now to backtest the value area high of this local range. So if we hold above $108,000, this pump will continue. If we lose 108,000, we are going to get a move to the downside today. And our first support is going to be $107,000 at the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786. So we very well could have a long setup today if we drop from around $107,000 And if we don't hold $107,000, then our next support is going to be $106,350, right? If I was looking for trades today, I would say this. We have ourselves a valid CDW short, meaning we saw a swing failure pattern, and technically we could target down to the POC of the range here. All right, invalidation is if we make a higher high. Our target is the next support. It's a 2-to-1 risk reward. But really we could say, because we're coming back inside the range, we could target the bottom of the range here for almost a 4-to-1 risk reward. And at both of these levels, I would be looking for bounces. I would be looking for long trades, right? I'm not the kind of person to chase price, but when you're at resistance and you're seeing a swing failure pattern happen, you have a valid short setup, and then you just wait it out, right? It either gets stopped out, or eventually we get a big long squeeze or whatever, come down to this level. If we see a bounce and a reclaim of this, we have ourselves a valid long setup from this area here. And we could shoot for a breakout, right? That could be a nice long area over the weekend. And I would be looking for bounces from here. I'd be looking for bounces from around 106.3. But the best level, I'd say, would be to wreck everybody. All right, 104,650 is a very key level right now. If we're looking for the best long trades, we have to think, where are the most people going to get absolutely wrecked? Well, think about this. We obviously have stop losses under here. This is why price could be magnet down to this area, because the market's hunting for the liquidity. We got 1, 2, 3 higher lows. So, it's the weekend. The market makers just suck those lows up and then bam, right? But then we also have stop losses below here at the value area low. So if we get a deeper retrace, then reclaim this, that could be our bounce. But what would wreck everybody? Look at all this, guys. Look at all these stop losses. When you see price action like this, you have to see it as these are stop losses where the market makers want to wreck people, right? So the most people would get wrecked if we do something like this. All right. This could be an epic, in my opinion, an epic long, because we take our fib from that low to our high. And there's actually not as much confluence as there as I would have wanted, huh? Would you look at that? Well, let's put on some volume and check it out. Let's put on some volume here and check it out. There's not as much confluence there as I would have wanted. This makes me a little bit, okay. Yeah. Look at that. We've got the high volume node at the support resistance flip right around 104,000. Wreck everybody here in this disgusting looking pattern. That's really where I'd be looking for a long trade. I would be looking for price to come down to that level, and I'd be looking for basically this. We come down below the level, we spend some time, or maybe we don't, but as soon as we see it coming back up above, that gives us the 3 things we need for a trade setup. Number 1, we have a reason to enter. We wrecked everybody, and now we're seeing a reversal. We have a reason to enter, which gives us our entry. We have the second thing we need, our stop loss. We know if we're losing the point of control of the range, we should get out of the trade because our idea of bouncing from the point of control is wrong. Then we have our target, at least a new high, or at least the previous high. This is giving us a 7-to-1 risk reward. And if we're going to break out and see $115,000 Bitcoin, this is giving us an 11-to-1 risk reward ratio, right? You have $1,000 in your account, you're risking 10 to make 110, right? So this is a really good risk to reward ratio here. You're risking 1% to make 11% potentially, right? So this would be something I'd be interested in if we're going to see more downside today. Now remember, the high time frames are bullish. The weekly looks bullish, the 5-day looks bullish, the 4-day, the 2-day look bullish. Because the high time frames look bullish, it's making me want to long the dip. Or if the high time frames looked bearish, I'd say be really careful longing the dip here, because we're coming down to the middle of the range. which is fair value zone. But because the high time frames look bullish, I have to say, if we get a dip like that, it would be a gift almost to say, wow, look at this. We can now long again from 104. Right? Let's zoom in here. Let's take a look at, yeah, that's very possible. Like the 1 hour, we're seeing money flow come out. Let's check out our 24-minute here. The 24-minute, it doesn't really necessarily look like we're gonna get that drop right now. Just to be honest, we could. It's a weekend, but you always like to... Yeah, no, I'm sorry. We are seeing some bear divs here. It's not as clear as I would like to see. Nonetheless, it's still a valid idea. All right? It's still a valid idea. Now, again, if this kind of stuff is confusing to you, I highly recommend you check out the free course on my YouTube channel under playlists, where we got ourselves an 18-session course on how to trade, basically, for free. All right, for free. Check it out. Check it out. It's good for your soul. All right, it is good for your soul. I promise you. All right. Where else on the internet will you see a guy on a treadmill with a purple backwards hat teaching you how to trade for free? I don't think anywhere. Actually, where else on YouTube will you see a... Let's see. Yeah, where else on YouTube will you see a guy like this teach you how to trade? All right, I really think this is a one-of-a-kind experience here. So make sure to go check it out. All right? Make sure to go check it out. Man, we have 900 people in the house and only 300 likes. I'll tell you, man. Do you know what that does to a man's self-esteem? Ruined it, man. Ruined my whole arm pump from this morning. It ruined it. It's ruined. It's absolutely ruined. What is a CDW, Wolf? It's a swing failure pattern. Can we look at ETH? Yeah, we can look at ETH as well. So that's pretty much what we're looking at with Bitcoin here, guys, man. Keep your eyes for the monthly close, the weekly close tonight, the monthly close tomorrow, and these key levels that we've kind of outlined here. I do want to take a look at order flow quick, actually. Let's see, like, oh, excuse me, what the actual orders have been here. Not anything too crazy. Not anything too crazy. Alright, let's take a quick look here. It has not been anything too crazy. This whole thing has been on a decrease of open interest. This move up, we've seen some buyers come in. But a lot of them have taken profits. Okay, so there's really no cojones to this move up right now. This is all happening on low volume. This whole range is very shady, actually. I wonder why it's been like this. This whole range is kind of shady. There's just not a lot of action going on. There's not a lot of action going on at all. Alright, let's take a quick look at the chat. Then we'll take a look at some other assets, such as Ethereum. We're going to take a look at Ethereum. Shout out to VTG. Shout out to VTG. Lifer's on. Yeah, I saw Crypto Lifer on too. That's a bummer, right? We're literally making each other's streams suck. Probably. Since we have that crossover, you know? We're like a Venn diagram. He has his people, I got my people, and then we got the combined audience. But, this is the only time I can stream today. It's probably the only time he can stream today too. Does he always stream at 8 AM on a Sunday? I don't know. I don't know. I usually watch him at 10 a.m. on weekdays, because that's usually when I'm like out in the garden and I want to be listening in to what's happening with the charts. So I tune into Crypto Lifer. Shout out to Ja Rec. He says, yo, Jason, I found you from Ian on YouTube. You really want to learn how to make some extra money? Shout out to Ian on YouTube, man. I got to give a major shout.
Jason Casper is the best guy ever. Big ups, Jason Casper!
Man, Ian on YouTube, God bless you, bro. You're the man. Hey, if you want to learn how to make some extra money, check out the free course. Check out the free course. All right, go to my YouTube channel. There's 18 sessions here. This will literally walk you through, in my opinion, pretty much everything you need to know to get started being a trader. And honestly, if you actually just follow this stuff, you could be a good trader. Of course, there's an infinite amount of things you could add on to this, but this will give you the foundation in order to actually do this and do it with longevity and consistency, because a lot of times when you're on the internet trying to learn how to trade for free, you get a puzzle piece here and a puzzle piece there, and you can't really put the whole puzzle together. The point of this is I'm going to show you what the picture's supposed to look like, give you most of the puzzle pieces that you need, and then if you see a video on YouTube or you read an article about this or that, then you'll be able to kind of take what else you learned and apply it to the foundation that is here for free. All right, so check it out. You know, check it out. Shout out to Ian on YouTube. Where's Camarand? Jordan Camarand? Has he been around? Shout out to Big Butts 28. Man, Big Butts 28. My mi esposa es muy bonita. You know what's funny? Yesterday was my 11th wedding anniversary. That's crazy. If you entered the VIP, is the course still necessary? If you are in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, we assume that you kind of already know how to trade and that you understand like the basics of TA and stuff, right? A morning rap for God. I don't know if I could do a freestyle about God, man. All right. I don't think I could do that. Oh, shout out to Uneven Butt Cheek in the house. Wow, Uneven Butt Cheek, what is going on? Wow, look at that. Who's Big Butt 28? Don't worry about it, Uneven Butt Cheek. Don't worry about it. All right. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum here. 11 years, but guys, it went by so quick, I'll tell you. It's crazy how fast time goes by. All right, this is Ethereum here. Man, I'll tell you. What can we even say about ETH right now? What can we even say about ETH? Okay, here's what we can actually say about it. ETH, just on the high time frames here. All right, there's a few very important things. Thing number one, during a bull market where Bitcoin is holding above the previous cycle all-time high, ETH has dipped down into bear market prices, testing this trend line, and actually bouncing from that zone, then getting a big bounce, coming back up to our next very important zone of support and resistance, right? We can literally look at this as just floors of a house, okay? Like, it's very clear that these two boxes you see here, this was support in the last bull market, it was resistance in the bear, it was support in the bull, and now it's resistance again. Okay, we came from one floor, now we're to the next floor of the house. We reclaimed $2,700. We are getting vacuum sucked, in my opinion, up to $5,500 ETH. All right. We have a monthly green dot that is about to confirm here on ETH. In my opinion, this could be one of the most obvious bullish buy signals in the history of Ethereum, because we've never seen it happen before. So there's two ways to look at it. We've never seen it happen before, which means this is bearish, Jason. We've never seen momentum this low in a bull market. ETH is dead. All right, that's opinion number one. Opinion number two is this. We are about to see a massive rip to the upside on ETH, unlike anything we've witnessed so far this cycle. And in hindsight, it will be the most obvious buy signal in the world on this confirmation of the green dot on the monthly time frame in 1 day and 12 hours when that confirms. Okay, we come to our weekly chart, and honestly, the weekly did give us the red dot here. Let's be honest, it's not looking the most bullish. The daily gave us this nice continuation wave here. And so, really what we're seeing right now is ETH has taken out the lows of the range, wrecked everybody, right? Because the market wants to wreck as many people as possible. Now we're getting confirmation, closes back inside. And so it makes sense, honestly, that we can target back to at least the high of the range, right? We can target at least back to the high of the range. If we're coming back above the high of this range, that means the back test of 2,700 is our next opportunity to long on a sign of strength here, right? Because it is an aggressive buy right now, especially if you're on leverage. If you're not on leverage, honestly, look, this is not financial advice. But if the bull market's going to continue, and I believe it will, for the next few months, and if ETH is going to hit new all-time highs, which I believe it will, this is a good place to buy, okay? Objectively speaking. I'm just going to be honest. This is not financial advice because nothing's guaranteed in trading. But if you're on a lower time frame looking for a good entry, another sign of strength would simply be a break above 2,700 and then a back test of 2,700 and then shoot for 5,500, right? Which would be a really nice risk to reward ratio. But I'm putting a lot of stock in that monthly green dot. I'm going out on a limb here because I can imagine a scenario where I say to myself, yeah, we have a monthly green dot, but, you know, the chart does look kind of bearish. We're making lower lows and lower highs, you know. But then, in hindsight, I would look at this green dot after ETH totally breaks out and say, Jason, why were you such an idiot to ignore a signal which is so bullish? When else have we had the opportunity to see a bottom on the oscillator on the monthly below the zero line in a bull market? Never. So for me, it's looking pretty nice, okay? It's looking pretty nice. And, yeah, for me, 2,700, we reclaim that, boom. We're off to the races, okay? We are off to the races. But for right now, we are consolidating within the range. You will eat the bugs, you will own nothing, and you will be happy about it. Okay, you need a screwdriver. Why buy it? Just rent it. It will come to your house, which you also do not own. And you fix the screw, which you do not own either, because you rent the screw. And then you get the screwdriver back. And the self-driving car come to your house in the smart city. Yeah, with the screwdriver, so you drive the screw into the wall. It actually looks pretty good here. We're even holding above the value area low. So let's keep our eyes on that weekly close. Definitely this monthly close, guys. This is a pivotal monthly close for ETH. It's looking pretty good. That green dot is going to continue. A very bullish candle in May. A purple doji in June. That could lead to that bullish, big blue bullish candle in May. All right. XRP. We will take a look at the Great Reset. See, Klaus Schwab is the bad cop of the Great Reset, but Elon Musk is the good cop of the Great Reset. See, Klaus Schwab, evil. Right? He wants everybody on blockchain control, evil. Elon Musk, he wants artificial intelligence, blockchain control, brain chip in your brain. He good guy. Elon Musk, the good guy. Okay. Never mind his grandparents were technocrats in Canada in the 1800s, alright? Never mind, you can't do anything like own a space company without the government knowing exactly what you're doing, giving you permission to do it. Never mind, he's just a good old-fashioned autistic guy who has everyone's best interest in mind. I mean, after all, what could go wrong? Right? But I guess him and Trump have beef now. him and Trump have beef. It was probably predetermined to be agreed upon. The beef, I'll bet. I'll bet they had a contract. Like, look, Trump, Elon said, Trump, look, I'll help you win the election, all right? I'll support you in everything you say. All right, it'll be great. Then I'm going to turn against you. All right, then I'm going to turn against you just to create more drama, create more division, all that kind of stuff. But after I turn against you, it's okay because we've already built a lot of infrastructure for the control grid while I was on your side. Then I'll turn against you. All right? It's all good in the hood. We got some super chats in the house. Yeah, Robert. Shout out to Robert with the super chat. We will analyze XRP. Yeah, well, and shout out to our other super chat. Script. Can we look at XRP, baby? Yeah, we're going to look at XRP. Let's take a quick look at XRP. The Epstein thing was crazy. I know. First of all, it's not even like a secret that Trump was on those logs, if anybody's been paying attention. And secondly, if Elon knew the whole time, why was he hanging around with Trump the whole time, endorsing everything he said, and letting his dang kids hang around with Trump the whole time, alone? I mean, the whole thing just screams of like, come on, man. It's all fake. That's why you just got to keep your head down, curl in the squat rack, grow your dang potatoes, and just let the show go on, right? You can't be emotionally invested in these things that are going on. It's all just a big old joke. All right, XRP. Wow. Oh my goodness, wow. Okay, so look, we've had this literally on our chart for months now. All right, XRP, very bullish candle. This is the monthly chart. The monthly's looking pretty good actually for XRP. The weekly, looking pretty good actually for XRP. If we can get this momentum wave to close, let's go to the 2-day. All right. Okay. So I'd say XRP looking a little bit ambiguous, but we do definitely have a clear liquidity grab of the low of the range, right? We came down, we took the liquidity at $1.77. We got a strong weekly close back above. We came to the top of the range. Now we're getting our back test in between the Fibonacci golden pocket and the 786. And so the idea here is, the bullish idea right now is this is the low, the liquidity grab, sign of strength. We've come in, made a higher high, and now we're getting a back test of the Fibonacci retrace, which means we shoot for the top of the range, which means technically speaking, on these high term time frames, we do have a valid setup here, which is this. It's only really a 2-to-1 if we go to value area high, but if we go to the top of the range here, it's like a 3-to-1 risk reward, right? Risking 1 to make 3. And of course, if this is a bull flag that's going to break out, then what do we have? Let's take a quick look here. We've got something like this. We're looking at a $5.50 ripple, sends ripples through my body. Yes, this is actually a legit trade setup right here. But here's the thing. We need to understand that if Bitcoin rejects and sees a bearish summer, this is not going to happen for altcoins, in my opinion. Right? We really want to see Bitcoin put a new all-time high in and establish a new range. Right, Bitcoin puts a new all-time high in and establishes a new range. And we could see then these targets on these altcoins. Bitcoin's going to be leading the show. If Bitcoin's bullish, or actually even if Bitcoin just stays doing nothing, this is actually still a possibility for XRP. If Bitcoin dumps, that's not a possibility. But Bitcoin can do nothing and just chill around $100,000 all summer. And this is possible. Or Bitcoin can pump, make a new all-time high, and start trading in a local range, and this would still be posible. Es posible. Es muy posible. Yeah. This is actually a nice setup here, because we have the liquidity grab, the local change of market structure, the back test, And, you know, we close this candle in 10 hours. It could be a bullish engulfing candle, engulfing the body of that previous purple candle here. And if we do break out of this and a flag, that will be a big pump for XRP. All right, big pump for XRP. So if you're bullish on XRP, and I am bullish on XRP, even though I don't hold any, I can't say this is a bad buy, but you have to understand my mentality when it comes to buying non-Bitcoin assets. While Bitcoin is currently above its previous market all-time high, I don't do. All right. So I recognize the fact that this could very well be a good buy for XRP for that bull market top. But personally, I don't buy altcoins when Bitcoin is above the previous cycle all-time high. In fact, I won't be buying any altcoins until next year. I'm only selling for the rest of 2025. I am not buying anything. All right, leverage trading, yes, for sure, but buying on spot, no. In fact, if you want to be safe in these markets and you're on the sidelines, wait. Just wait. All right. Investing is all about probabilities, buying low and selling high. And objectively speaking right now, it'd be better to wait, where you know you have more upward potential than downward potential, okay? But I recognize this is a good buy based on the structure and the fib levels and the bull flag and the bull market, which for the next 6 months is likely going to take us to, in my opinion, all-time highs for altcoins like XRP and ETH and Sol and Chainlink. All right. That's my opinion. All right, not financial advice. All right, we got a super chat in Zahus. He says, he doesn't say anything. Thank you for the super chat. Apple561, God bless you. Thank you for the super chat. We got people in here talking about rice and beans when you eat less animal proteins. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You know, I used to eat a lot of rice, but I haven't been eating rice lately at all. And beans I love. Love me some beans. You were a perma bear, but I give up. It's going up till 2031. Oh no, Thomas! Don't say that! Don't say that, Thomas! Because if you're saying that and you're capitulating, then that means that the top is in! Come on, man! Come on, man. Don't do that, Thomas. People should have bought more Sol in 2023. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but really, yeah. So the next 2023 is going to be 2026, 2027. You know? 2026, 2027. Rice gave you a pot belly, so you stopped eating it? Yeah, if you're gonna eat white rice, you gotta be an athlete, in my opinion. Because it has no fiber. It's just pure, simple energy. So unless you are an athlete, you should stay away. XRP will outpace ETH, mark your words. Yeah, very well could percentage-wise. It very well could percentage-wise. I don't want to say I'm a Bitcoin maxi, but I'll be honest with you. I've kind of fallen into my groove in crypto, which is leverage trading, and then most of my spot portfolio is Bitcoin. And then the alts, I keep it simple. You know, the basics. And I'm not that guy that has like this one altcoin that I'm like banking on. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but look, I think Bitcoin is Bitcoin. There's not going to be any other Bitcoin. Slow and steady wins the race. All right, slow and steady wins the race. Is plant protein inferior to animal protein? I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. Honestly, I think the body is pretty good at adapting and using what you give it. That's my view. I feel like the body can use what you give it. I mean, look at people like Vegan Gains and Alex Leonidas. These dudes are super vegan. They're probably, well, they're definitely more jacked than me. All right, they're more jacked than me. All right. And I'm kind of jacked, right? I'm a little bit jacked. And, you know, I got the sick arm pump. They're more jacked than me. They're vegan, all right? So, I don't know. I feel like the body can use what you give it. You know? And I'm definitely not vegan, all right? I'm definitely not. They take massive amounts of supplements. Those guys don't take supplements really, you know? But shout out to Dano Crypto, man. God bless you, bro, and the family. You grow food all year round in Florida, Jim Leahy. Man, I am up north, so I can only grow. I plant in May, and I really don't plant anything after September. And the things I plant in September are just cold weather stuff. Cruciferous vegetables, you know, red beets, collard greens, and that kind of stuff. You know, I have a very short growing season here. I can do 2 rounds of potatoes. I plant the first in April, and I plant the second in July. So I'm about to harvest potatoes now, and then plant again. But I don't have a very long growing season. It kind of sucks, man. All right, it kind of sucks. I gotta show you guys something. The other day, well, actually, here, let me show you guys this. We got, right now, coming up, we've got the garlics and the beets. Look at that beautiful garlic. And the red beets, man. Absolutely gorgeous. And then, look at this potato, man. Is this not the funniest potato? Does anyone know why this happened? I have never seen a potato like that before. What the heck? My wife says she thinks it grew in between rocks. No, I've seen potatoes growing between rocks. Is that some kind of like potato disease? It's got like, the skin is very thin too. You can see there's like weak spots in the skin. I don't know. I've never seen that before. It's just this one potato. The rest are normal. But what's up with that, man? What's up with that? You guys see that? That's nuts. All right. You know what else I love right now at this time of year is the yellow and the zucchini squashes. They're coming on nice and good this year. All right. I cannot wait. In fact, after this live stream, guys, I'm going to go out and get a whole bunch of these. I'm going to grill them up. I love grilling them. They're so good. You know, get some eggs, some grilled squash. You know what I'm saying? Some potatoes. It's a good meal. That's a dang good meal right there. Let's focus on crypto, says AG. Well, I don't know if you've read this, but if you ever go to Jason Casper's YouTube channel, I don't know if you've ever been there. But if you do go, it does say this. It says crypto, trading, fitness, and homesteading. So I'm not trying to hide the fact that I might talk about some other stuff, bro. I'm holding a dang chicken in the picture. All right? So I'm just saying, all right? The YouTube channel, this is not false advertisement right here. I'm not trying to be a false advertiser. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a false advertiser here. All right. Shout out to our super chat, AG. He says, make a health show so we can focus on crypto. This is my health show, bro. I'm literally on a treadmill right now. I'm on a treadmill right now, sweating. I appreciate it, though. Did I inject the COVID clot shot in the potato? No. That's another thing. Maybe it's just the shedding. Maybe it's the shedding from the other potatoes that got it. I don't know. You can eat the squash flowers. Yeah, man. That's true. How many chickens do I have? Shout out to Rendell, the crypto carnivore friend, saying hello. God bless you, Rendell. Right now, I've only got about 20 chickens. We had a lot die, and I didn't get around to hatching eggs this year, unfortunately. I could still. It only takes, what, 2 weeks or whatever? 2-3 weeks? I don't know. I got the incubators. Really? That's how potatoes grow near a nuclear power plant. I don't live near one, but that's making me a little bit nervous, Paul. What do you call a oh my goodness, Sweet Papa Willow with the inappropriate joke. Oh man. Michael Saylor is bullish on Bitcoin. That makes sense. Yeah. Put the pump music on. Yeah, Crypto Incognito. Yeah, shedding from the other potatoes. That's it. That must be it. Shout out to Felipe Collin. And shout out to y'all. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for being here, guys, on this Sunday morning. On this beautiful Sunday morning. Well, I'm going to head out, guys, because I don't got anything else to say about crypto. May the Lord Jesus bless you all. And I pray you and your families are very blessed and have a wonderful week. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.